I have always cherished the steady rhythms of my family life, the quiet dinners, the predictable weekends, the comforting consistency of it all. But over the past month, everything has taken a sharp, unsettling turn. It all began the night my dad, who's always been a steadfast rock in our lives, started acting oddly. At first, it was just little things, slight deviations from his usual routine that seemed almost insignificant. He started leaving for work earlier than usual, claiming overtime at the office, although there never seemed to be a corresponding increase in his workload. His evenings, once reserved for family, slowly became longer, more mysterious absences. He'd appear at the table at odd hours, his eyes shadowed by exhaustion or maybe something else. It didn't add up, at least not in a way that initially alarmed me. Then came the meat. My dad has always been something of a culinary adventurer, but his tastes were widening to a degree that felt less like exploration and more like an obsession. Every evening, our kitchen was filled with the overwhelming scent of roasting meat, ribs and roasts and shanks that he'd roast slowly, savoring them with an almost primal enthusiasm. The refrigerator became a burial ground of sorts for meticulously wrapped cuts of various meats, labeled not by type, but by cryptic codes only he seemed to understand. I remember the first time I unearthed one particular package from the fridge. The meat was a deep burgundy color, and the texture was strange under my fingertips. It didn't remind me of beef or pork or even venison, but something more exotic, something primal. When I asked my dad about it, he merely chuckled, tapping the side of his nose in that secretive way that underscored a joke I was not privy to. But it was the discovery of the eye, the orb that gleamed wetly back at me from beneath a tangle of greens and half-empty condiments, that set my heart pounding with the unfamiliar rhythm of fear. It was large, larger than any animal native to our region, and I could not shake the feeling that it carried with it a silent, accusatory knowledge of secrets I could not begin to fathom. Seeking answers, I prowled the corners of the internet, nosed around sketchy forums, trying to match my find to some known creature. What brought my search to a screeching halt was the improbable but undeniable match to an apex predator from the savannas, a discovery both ridiculous and terrifying in its implications. The revelation gnawed at me, raising unsettling questions I could not reconcile. How would my dad even acquire such a thing? Why would he want to? My home was beginning to feel like a stranger. Its familiar corners tinged with shadows that stretched far beyond the reach of everyday daylight. I started watching my dad more closely, scrutinizing his movements, his habits, seeking further signs of his transformation. My late-night surveillance started innocently enough, but soon I was rummaging through trash cans, inspecting his room when he was out, seeking the breadcrumbs that might lead me to whatever had sunk its talons into him. Curiosity became fixation, and soon I found myself burdened with a secret too heavy to bear in silence. The moment of confrontation, when it arrived, was as unplanned as it was unavoidable. It was late afternoon when I ascended the creaky staircase to his room, the shadows stretching long in the fading light. The door was ajar, and beyond it a thick silence hung. My dad was on the bed, and although the room was shrouded in dusk, I could see everything in harsh relief. There he lay, his fingers tracing an unsettling rhythm upon a smooth, sun-bleached bone, a relic both alien in comfort and sinister in purpose. My stomach churned, a cocktail of revulsion and grief flooding my throat. Whatever I had suspected, seeing it there in real terms twisted the knife of my uncertainty into fresh wounds. My presence must have registered after a beat too long, and our eyes met in a brief scathing recognition of the other. His expression was unfathomable, a mix of panic and defiance, as if trying to pull me into a secret I was not meant to share. I turned, each footstep away from that room, a laceration of our connection. My heart pounded with questions I was too horrified to voice, my head swimming with images that would bind me forever to this revelation. Yet in turning away, I unwittingly sealed a pact of silence, the implications of which I still struggled to comprehend. What I had seen would haunt me, branding my nights with scenes I could neither rationally accept nor excise. My home felt both alien and imposed, a theater where truths played out without care for the observers they ensnared. Now I sleep fitfully, my dreams swirling with shadows of hunts in unknown forests, filled with echoes of laughter that skewed the balance between reality and delirium. The shifts in the night resonate through my bones, humming tunes of a new normal. I stand uncertain at a precipice with no hint of the path below. My own piece in a larger, incomprehensible puzzle teasing at the edges of understanding I can scarcely touch, let alone grip firmly. Every morning, as the day begins anew, I wonder if I will awaken from this nightmare, or if it is only the beginning of a story too outsized to grasp.